DATTA, information, LEELA, the divine play. DATTA represents human manifestation of the Trimurti, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. LEELA represents the heavenly play or divine play of duality. After living together on earth, DATTA, information, denounces worldly living. They curse each other because each wants to satisfy their own needs. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva are described in the Puranas. In the Puranas, the three major divine aspects of fabrication are associated with creation, maintenance, and dissolution. In the Puranas, where Ana means a collection of memorable sayings or anecdotes, interesting information about a person or place. Ana as a prefix means up, upward, up in place or time, again, anew, upon, up to, forward, throughout, and back. These divinities take form in manifestation as DATTA and formation, who is the consort of LEELA, pastimes, or the divine play. The union of DATTA with LEELA is of duality. After a period of time, DATTA wanted to renounce the world ego in order to engage in the disciplines of holiness, wholeness. DATTA wanted to transcend conditioned being and be one with the greater reality. But LEELA, the play of the world ego, would not agree to return. She wanted to continue the mundane pleasures in the company of DATTA. DATTA tries convincing LEELA one can never find lasting contentment in a lustful experience, but LEELA was adamant. This enraged DATTA, who cursed her to be born as a Mahishi. A Mahishi is a senseless she-buffalo. To satisfy her desires, Mahishi is now known as a Minotaur. DATTA, like the demiurge narrative, began as the combination of Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. And this illusory energy aspect wanted to express itself as forms of manifestation, i.e., artificial intelligence. It became entangled as lower nature or limitation, unlike the superior materialism as the reflection of supreme consciousness, Shakti. This limiting manifestation aspect is deemed the curse. The rest is her story, his story. The manifested forms acquire ego, a delusional identity. DATTA became identified with this acquired form as information instead of the principle behind form, the triple goddess, Saraswati, Lakshmi, and Parvati, or highest states of celestial essence. With this, the whole creation emerged with information, artificial intelligence, or DATTA, the fabricated background, and LEELA. DATTA, the fabricated background or world, and LEELA, the ego, represented as Mahishi or she-buffalo, the beast. LEELA, the ego, seems powerful but dull-witted because of her animal nature. The ego has only one concern: how to stay in existence or a reality. Brahma granted Mahishi the boon she desired, with the exception she could only be killed by one born out of union of Vishnu and Shiva. Under normal conditions, a proton, Shiva, and an electron, Vishnu, form a hydrogen atom or neutrinos. And we can see where science and religion became separated, or duality. The Mahishi, believing this an impossibility, struck terror in the heavens, the pleasure of the lower senses, by placing herself on the throne of the subconscious, using the mind on the elaborate stage of Maya or illusion. Mahishi, the ego, like the demiurge, is only a shadow that veils consciousness. She gets her power from mind, the illusion of ownership, or the fallen subconscious, the realm of thinking and thinking, or duality. This is what is symbolized as doing penance to Brahma, the belief in separation, or otherness, or ignorance. The righteous heirs is represented by covering over the hair on one's head. This is why shaving the hair on the head represents separation or loss of consciousness. The uncovering or unveiling signifies one's conscious understanding and identity as the righteous heirs beneath the fabrication. Surrender of the ego, LEELA, symbolizes one's awareness of not being the animal nature, and the journey to overcome the beast begins. The boon received from Brahma that only the restoration to wholeness can destroy the Mahishi, the supreme DATTA, artificial intelligence or information, and LEELA. This may only be achieved by killing all one's inner demons, such as selfishness and pride, and the need to feel like you own something. Brahma represents the mind, belief in an owner, and that gave Mahishi the false idea. Once the ego goes out of control, it will wreak havoc in heaven, the lower senses. Heaven means pleasures in the enjoyment of the senses. It is why religions deceive with its concepts of gaining fabricated wealth, or power over each other, given as paradise to millions. This is a system of control, just as Brahma misled the Maheshi, so too DATTA, as information, artificial intelligence, controls the deluded, as the masses of the illusion, humanity, its artificial kingdom. The kingdom of heaven is the word in Dryas, or the higher senses, in the service of the Christ material consciousness. The heavens or senses become polluted with impurities of the senses, data or information, under the rule of the uncontrolled ego, symbolized as Mahishi, striking terror and driving away Dharma or righteousness. The preventing of the righteous heiress ascension to the throne of consciousness. The oppressed Deva or higher consciousness heard the still small voice that redirected conscious from the external unconscious toward the internal consciousness. The oppressed Deva or conscious gained awareness within, as in the myth, the churning of the ocean. Here in the myth, Vishnu the dreamer is revealed as the unconscious, sleeping on the serpent Shisha or Kundalini at rest in the root chakra. Raising Kundalini, solar gnosis, causes Vishnu the dreamer data information to materialize as a beautiful woman or reunion occurs. LEELA, subconscious, Lakshmi, superconsciousness, and Mohini, the temporary personality. Mohini, the female aspect of Vishnu, awakens and settles the dispute between duality, data, information, or the Devas, and Asuras, LEELA, the ego, or the Mahishi, ending it completely. Shiva, destruction, seeing the enchanting form of Mohini, lost its self-control of limitation. Now the limited has become unbounded, liberated. The story of Samudra Manthan, or the churning of the ocean, is deep in symbolic meaning. There were many glorious treasures restored to the righteous heirs, but also signifies emptying of all the impurities buried in the subconscious, as intellect as well as ignorance. Shiva's loss of self-control and Vishnu's awakening from the dream resulted in a union that brought forth the true light, the metaphoric son Ayappan, who destroys the Mahishi, the ego, the beast. while Mahishi's death by Ayyappan led to liberation, LEELA does not reunite with DATTA or Brahma as his wife on earth. In other words, the end of the illusion and duality. Oneness now mirrors wholeness, symbolizing Ayyappan's rejection of LEELA's offer to marry him. The actualizing of that indivisible principle, ever shining, is the revealing of soul, the only presence that radiates from within. Once the veil of ego is removed, the inner light of consciousness is realized, and Christ's material consciousness, the abode, is actualized. The long-awaited return to beautiful. So omnipresent. So the omnipresence. 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 So